We'll get started this morning with our set of hand weights or 2 sets of hand weights. I have a set of 5s and a set of 3s. And then a block. Those are the things that I would recommend for today. Weights and a block. And we're going to get started in a seated position today. If a cross-leg position works for you, great, take that. If you need a different seated position, that's fine too. So we find our seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze, 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 and then draw them back and down. Release tension. Let your hands rest on your legs, your knees, palms up or down. I could use some energy today, so I have palms up. Sometimes when you need grounding, it feels better to have palms down. Take a few moments with eyes closed to just check in with yourself. What's going on for you today? What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your body? And then bring your focus to your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Allow yourself to come into this moment. You have come to your mat this morning to take care of you. As we find movement today, you decide what taking care of you looks like. Bring a smile to your face. Take a deep breath in. And let it out. Lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. Come back up to center. Lower your left ear towards your left shoulder. Come back up to center. Lower your chin towards your chest. Back up to center. Your face to the sky. And back to center. Turn your head to the right. Back to center. Turn your head to the left. Back to center. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Blink your eyes open, and if you've chosen a cross-leg position, switch the cross of your legs, other leg in front, and inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, lower your arms down, hands together behind your back, interlace your fingers, find a chest expansion, work your Fingers back and down. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Let your fingers come all the way down to the ground. Take a couple of breaths in this twist. Then arms stay low as you return to center. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, twist left. Again, fingers come all the way down to the ground and take a couple breaths. Then back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms down, hands together behind your back, opposite interlace of your fingers for your chest expansion once again. Work out any tightness. And release. And walk your hands forward, fold forward. Find a nice stretch through your low back. And walk your hands back in, return to an upright position. Uncross the legs. If you've chosen a cross-leg position, plant your feet on the mat, hands to your shins, move through some cow and cat stretches at your own pace. And back to a neutral spine. We'll extend the legs out in front. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Fingers can come down to your thighs, your shins, your ankles, or your feet. And then make your way back to an upright position. We'll swing the legs around behind us, come into table on your hands and knees. When you find your table, keep your left hand planted, sweep your right arm out and up. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, bring your right arm down, slide the back of your hand across the mat, lower all the way down. Take a couple breaths. You might creep your left fingers forward. You might take a half line. Then bring your left hand back into position, press down to lift up. Inhale, right arm out and up. Exhale, back down to the mat. We'll take that on the other side. Inhale, left arm out and up. Exhale, thread the needle. Adjust the position of your right arm. Then right hand back into position, press down to lift up. Inhale, left arm out and up. Exhale, lower your left hand back down to the mat. We'll step one foot and then the other back to a high plank position. Gaze straight down towards the mat. Couple of breaths in your plank. And then soften your knees and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Step your right foot forward inside your right hand, set your back knee down on the mat. You can either keep your toes, your back toes untucked, or untuck your toes. And we'll straighten and bend the right knee. We'll meet back up in the lunge. Left hand stays where it is. Inhale, right arm out and up. Half bind as you exhale. And then we'll straighten and bend the right knee a few times again. Release your half bind. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hand back down to the mat. Bring the right knee back to meet the left in a kneeling plank and lower down part way. Hold and breathe. Shoulders away from your ears. Gaze straight down. Pull your navel towards your spine. Engage your glutes as well. So we've got the core active. Then press back up and send your hips back to your heels. Child's pose. Back up through table to kneeling plank to downward facing dog. Pedal out your down dog once again. Then step your left foot forward inside your left hand. And bring your right knee down to the mat. Again, you can keep your toes tucked or untuck your toes. We'll straighten and bend. A few times. Meet up in the lunge. Left hand stays planted, or rather right hand stays planted. Inhale, left arm out and up. Exhale, half bind. Once you've found your half bind, you straighten and bend a few times again. We meet up in the lunge. Inhale, left fingers up to the sky. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. Now we'll bring the left knee back to meet the right, kneeling plank. And just as before, we lower down part way, hold and breathe. Keep your elbows tucked in. Press back up, send your hips back to your heels, child's pose. This time, palms come together to touch. Bend your elbows, thumbs to the back of your neck. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Rise through table to kneeling plank to downward facing dog. Look to your hands. Walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold near the top of your mat. Take a couple breaths in your forward fold. Stillness or movement in your forward fold. Maybe shifting your weight from side to side, front to back, maybe swaying your torso from side to side. We keep a nice bend in the knees. Plant your palms on your thighs and roll up to standing. When you come to the top, inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, arms down. Inhale up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right, arms shoulder height. Inhale, back up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to your high plank pose, shift forward tips of the toes, set your knees down, kneeling plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Baby cobra, inhale, lift your chin and tuck. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, kneeling plank, and exhale, child's pose. Inhale, kneeling plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Look to your hands, walk feet to hands. Once again, forward fold at the top of the mat. We'll roll up to standing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms down. We'll add our twists again. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, high plank, shift forward, tips of the toes, set your knees down, kneeling plank, lower all the way down, pause here. Lift the chin and chest for baby cobra, and either stay there or press your hands down, straighten your arms, lifting belly and thighs up off the mat. Now engage your glutes, engage your core, pull back to child's pose, and up to downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step feet to hands, roll up to standing. And once again, inhale up to the sky, exhale, arms down, inhale up, exhale, twist right, inhale up, exhale, twist left, inhale up, exhale, dive down, forward fold, halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, high plank pose, shift forward, tips of the toes, set your knees down, lower all the way down to your belly, lift to baby cobra, then a little higher, and then if you'd like, upward facing dog, press down through the tops of your feet, knees come up off the mat. If you've lifted your knees, lower your knees back down, engage at core, pull back to child's pose, and up to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, look to your hands, walk your feet to your hands, roll up to standing. We're changing things up this time. Inhale, reach up to the sky, palms together to touch. Exhale, thumbs to the back of your neck. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and sit back in your chair. Here in your chair, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Engage your core. Shift weight back into your heels. Right foot stays your foundation. Lift your left foot off the mat, just an inch or two. And then set your foot back down. We'll take that on the other side. Set your foot back down. Inhale up through center. Exhale, cactus arms. Open your chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down through center, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands. Step back to your high plank pose. We're holding our high plank. Lift your right toes off the mat. And step your right toes out to the right. And come back to center, set them down. And then the left toes up, out to the left, back to center. Keep going, tapping side to side. Take your time with the movement. Both legs stay fully active the whole time. Glutes stay fully active the whole time. Last few on each side. We'll meet up at center. Set your knees down on the mat, kneeling plank, lower down part way, hold and breathe. 5, 4, 3, back up in 2, and 1. Straighten your arms back to child's pose. And all the way up to downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step feet to hands. Sweep up to the sky, inhale. Palms together to touch at the top. Exhale, thumbs to the back of your neck. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands heart center. Sit back in your chair. Right foot foundation. Lift your left foot off the mat. Tap your left toes back. And then come back in. Set your foot down. Other side. Lift your right foot. Tap back. And come back in. Now sink your hips just a little deeper. Tuck your tailbone slightly. Take a breath. And inhale up through center. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale down through center, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step back to your high plank pose. And this time in your high plank, you'll bend your right knee, bring your right knee down towards the mat. Then you lift back up, then left knee down and up, right, left. Every time you straighten, really press out through your heel. Last few on each side. Meet up with both legs straight, shift forward slightly, then set your knees down on the mat, kneeling plank, lower down part way, hold and breathe. 5, 4, 3, straighten your arms in 2, and 1, straighten your arms, then child's pose, hips to heels. Maybe this time palms come together to touch, thumbs to the back of your neck. Lower your hands back down. We'll rise to table. Walk your hands forward, kneeling plank. Curl your toes under, lift to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, look to your hands, step feet to hands. Inhale, mountain pose, up to the sky, palms together to touch. Exhale, thumbs to the back of your neck. Inhale, back up. Exhale, sit low in your chair. Right foot foundation, lift your left toes, tap back. Come back in, other side, tap back, come back in, sink your hips even lower, little tuck of your tailbone, then inhale up through center, exhale cactus. Inhale up, exhale down through center, forward fold, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward this time. Plant your hands, step back to high plank pose, shift forward tips of the toes, stay on your toes and lower to low plank. Here for 5, 4, 3, up dog in 2, and 1, upward facing dog. Couple breaths in your up dog. And we'll lift to downward facing dog from your strong floor. In your downward facing dog, lift your right leg up to the sky. Draw your knee towards your nose, step through for a low lunge. Gaze just beyond the top edge of your mat. Get really light in your fingers, rise to crescent lunge. Maybe hands come together at heart center on the way up. But then we bring the arms up to the sky. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Lift up through the back of your left leg. Draw your thumbs back. Squeeze your glutes. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center, spin your back heel down. We'll open to warrior 2. Stretch your arms straight out to your sides from your shoulders. Then glide your right fingers forward, inhale. Exhale, side angle, right forearm on the right thigh. We'll bring the left hand in towards heart center and then up to the sky. Bring your left hand back in towards heart center, left hand to your left hip, and press up to reverse warrior. Keeping the nice bend in your right knee, stretching your right fingers up to the sky. And then hands return to heart center. Pivot your back heel up, returning to that crescent lunge stance. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, down to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog, then come forward to your high plank. Shift forward tips of the toes. Stay on your toes, lower to low plank here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Now left leg up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step through for a low lunge. Find your stability, your strength. Really lighten your fingers. We'll come up to crescent. Hands can come to heart center on the way up, then lift your fingers up to the sky. Draw your thumbs back, relax your shoulders, keep lunging into your left knee, lifting up through the back of your right leg. Breathe. One more breath in. As you exhale, hands come to heart center, spin your back heel down. And we'll extend the arms, warrior two. And then glide forward, inhale. Exhale, side angle, left forearm onto the left thigh. Bring your right hand in towards center before pressing your hand up to the sky. Then right hand back down towards center. Bring your right hand to your right hip. And we'll send the left fingers up, reverse warrior, straight up. Hands come back to heart center, pivot your back heel up. Back to that crescent lunge stance. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Come forward, high plank, shift forward, tips of the toes, stay on your toes, lower to low plank here for 5, 4, up dog in 3, 2, and 1, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step feet to hands. And pick up a set of weights, and we'll bring them up through center as we rise. Inhale, up. Exhale, weights to the back of the neck. Inhale, back up. Exhale, weights to heart center. Sink your hips back and down. Right foot foundation, tap your left foot back. Back in, other side, back in. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, cactus, keep your glutes engaged. Inhale up, exhale down through center. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands with or without weight. Step back to your high plank pose. Shift forward, tips of the toes. Stay on your toes, lower to low plank here for 5, 4, 3, up dog in 2, and 1, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, inhale your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, step through for a low lunge. We'll pick up the weights, bring them to heart center as we rise to our crescent lunge. Then arms up to the sky. Square off the hips to the front of the mat. Then we'll bring weights to heart center, spin your back heel down and open to warrior two. And take a few bicep curls as long as we're here. Then we'll bring weights back to heart center. Let's glide the right fingers beyond the top edge of the mat and find our side angle. Right forearm to the right thigh. Press your left hand up to the sky. We'll draw the left hand back in towards center, press up again, and take that a few more times. Next time you come down, place your weight on your hip, and we'll bring the right elbow just inside the right thigh and take some bicep curls. Next time your weight comes in towards heart center, we'll keep the legs where they are. Lift to reverse warrior, straight up to the sky. Then weights to heart center, spin your back heel up. Crescent lunge stance. Inhale, weights up to the sky. Exhale, weights down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. And then high plank pose, shift forward tips of the toes, lower to low plank here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, lift your left leg up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, step through low lunge. We'll bring weights to heart center as we rise. Coming up to that crescent lunge stance. Then arms up to the sky. Keep your glutes engaged, keep your core engaged. Then weights come back to heart center, spin your back heel down. We'll extend the arms out, warrior two. This time hammer curls, so palms face the long edge of the mat. Bending and straightening the elbows. I like to keep my chin at center when I'm doing this rather than looking beyond the left fingers. Then we'll bring weights to heart center. Press the left arm out beyond the top edge of the mat and bring your left forearm down to your left thigh and send your right hand up to the sky. Side angle. Bring your right hand back down towards your chest. Press back up. Down and up. Down and up. Keep going. Next time your hand comes down, place your weight, your hand on your hip, and we'll bring the left elbow just inside the left thigh for our bicep curl. We'll pause when the left hand comes in towards the chest and then find your slow rise to reverse warrior press straight up. Then weights to heart center, spin your back heel up, back to that crescent lunge stance. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, weights down to at the mat. Step back, high plank pose, shift forward tips of the toes, lower to low plank here for 5, 4, up dog in 3, 2, and 1, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Couple breaths in your downward facing dog. And then look to your hands and walk your feet all the way through. Come down to have a seat on the mat. Knees bent, feet planted. Take a couple of cow and cat stretches. Meet back in a neutral spine. Find your block and place the block in between your thighs or your knees. And we'll roll down to the back. You want the feet to be planted about hip width distance apart, knees stacked over your ankles. You can pick up a set of weights too if you'd like and place your weights on your frontal hip bones. Squeeze the block. Feel the engagement of all the muscles in your legs. Feel the engagement of your glutes. Then a tiny tuck of the tailbone. Press down through your feet and lift your hips up. And we'll lower the hips down to a hover and lift all the way back up. Down and up. Down and up. Few more. Next time you lift up, stay lifted and find some pulses. Little squeeze, 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 squeeze. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift a little higher. And then lower your hips back down. We'll set the weights aside. Bring the block out from between your thighs. Stretch your arms overhead. Extend your legs. Find a nice full body stretch. And then lower your arms down to your sides. We'll put the bend back in the knees. Reset the hips. Tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Extend your arms forward. We'll pull the right knee in towards the chest. And then extend the left leg, floating it. And then we'll switch. Left knee in, right leg extends. And switch. And switch. And switch. Keep breathing. If you'd like, you could place your fingertips behind your ears, elbows wide. A few more on each side. We'll meet up with both knees drawn in. Curl into a little ball. Wrap your arms around your legs. And release. Lower your feet down to the mat. Maybe another long body stretch. Lower your arms back down. We'll put a bend back in the knees. Reset your hips. We'll send your arms up to the sky, palms face one another. And we'll find eagle arms, right arm under the left. Partial wrap or a full wrap. Now, heel toe your left foot in towards the midline of your body and then cross your right leg over your left thigh to thigh. So think eagle legs, but maybe not full wrap. Press your low back down into the mat, tuck your chin a bit, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Now you can remain here for some pulses, or you could lift your left foot off the mat and move your legs and your upper body for your pulses. So you decide which version is going to work best for you today. Four, three, two, one, and then gently lower down and unravel and take a couple breaths. And fingers up to the sky once again, this time left arm under the right, eagle arms, your version of eagle arms. We'll heel toe the right foot in towards the midline and then cross the left leg over the right. Little tuck of the chin, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. You still have space between your chin and your chest. So it's not so much of a tuck that your chin is in at your chest. And again, you can pulse right here, or you can add the lift of your right foot. So your legs are drawing in at the same time that your torso is lifting. Whatever you've chosen, keep breathing. Four, three, two, one. Lower down and unravel. Take a few breaths. And bring your knees in towards your chest and circle your knees around a few times, one way and the other. Massage your low back. We'll meet back at center. Keep your right knee in. Lower your left foot down to the mat. We'll send the right foot up to the sky. Straighten your right leg. Hands can be on the back of your thigh, maybe on your calf or your ankle, maybe even up to your foot. Pull your straight right leg in. Open up through the full back line of your right leg. And put the bend back in your right knee. Lower your right foot down to the mat. And find a bridge pose before we take the other side. Move down through your feet. Lift your hips up. Press down through your shoulders. Lower your hips back down. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Circle them around. When meet back at center, keep your left knee in as you lower your right foot down to the mat. Then straighten your left leg. Decide where it works for you to have your hands on this side. Thigh, calf, ankle, foot. And pull your straight left leg in. Release, put the bend back in your knee, lower your foot down to the mat. And now we'll lift the right foot off the mat, cross your right ankle onto your left thigh. You can stay right here, or lift your left foot off the mat, pulling your left leg in. Now you might decide to straighten your left leg, sending your heel up to the sky. You could move even deeper too. Little tuck of your chin, lift your head and shoulders off the mat, slide your arms through the triangle you've created with your legs, scoop up your right leg and extend your left leg. Let it float above the mat. If you've chosen that version, bring your leg back up, find the connection. Wherever you are, make your way out the way you went in. And back to that place with both feet planted. And then cross your left leg over your right, ankle to thigh. And either stay here or lift your right foot off the mat. You can stay here, or you can straighten your right leg, send your heel up to the sky, or perhaps you tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders, slide your arms through the triangle you've created, and scoop up your leg, floating your right leg above the mat, just like we did on the other side. It's an option. You've chosen that version, bring your leg back up, find the connection. Wherever you are, make your way out the way you went in, meeting up with knees bent, feet planted, arms at your sides, bridge pose. Press down through your feet, lift your hips up. Then lower your hips back down. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Open your knees out to the sides. Return your knees to center. And hug your right knee in towards your chest. Extend your left leg and find your twist. Right leg to the left, right arm to the right. Take 5 deep breaths once you have found stillness in your twist. Back to center. Lower your right foot down to the mat, bend your left knee, plant your left foot on the mat, reset your hips, hug your left knee in and extend your right leg. We'll find our twist on this side. Guide your left leg over to the right, stretch your left arm out to the left. Once you've found stillness, 5 deep breaths once again. After your 5 breaths, return to center. Lower your left foot down to the mat, bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat, reset your hips. Pull both knees in towards your chest, and then we'll open the soles of the feet to the sky for happy baby. Hold on to your legs, ankles, your feet, whatever you like, and bring some movement to your happy baby. You can rock from side to side. You could straighten one leg, put a deeper bend in the opposite, switching that out. Just move around in whatever way feels good. We'll meet up, extending both feet straight up to the sky. Straighten out your legs, pull your straight legs in. Your legs elevated, bend your knees, tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders off the mat, wrap your arms around your legs, squeeze everything in. Empty your lungs. Take a deep breath in and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open mouth exhalation, let everything go. And find your final relaxation. If there's any last movement that you need before finding stillness, of course, take the movement. And then when you're ready, you find your place of rest. Your time of quiet. Your time to let go. Your time to just be.
Feel and appreciate the beautiful flow of your breath. Follow its path. Breath is nourishing, and the breath is cleansing. And the breath is a tool that you have with you always. You can use the breath to bring energy. You can use the breath to bring calm. And you can use the breath to bring yourself into the present moment. Bring a smile to your face and thank yourself for making time to come to your mat today. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. And then begin to awaken your fingers and your toes. Your wrists and your ankles. Your elbows and your knees. Your shoulders and your hips. And perhaps a full body stretch or hugging your knees in towards your chest for a couple of breaths. And with your knees bent, roll to your side. And take a few breaths on your side. And eyes stay closed as you press yourself up to a seated position where we began the practice. And when you find your seated position, take a moment to check in just like you did at the beginning of the practice. Notice what has changed. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. And draw them back and down. Thank you for sharing your practice today, sharing your energy as you move through your day. Be strong, be calm, be present. Namaste.